Good evening, everyone. It looks like we have a full house tonight. So we'll get started, and I just want to welcome you to Ignite. Congratulations if you've just gotten your license. If you've had it for a while, kudos to you for showing up and continuing to improve. So this is session 1, Spark Your Career. This is the beginnings of becoming the real estate expert. My name is Mary Dunn. I am the Director of Sales and Training and the Productivity Coach in the Keller Williams Market Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So welcome to all of you from all over the country. So Ignite has sections or 4 pillars. These are the ELLT, which is expert for the real estate expert, L for lead generation, the second L for lead follow-up, and then the T for transaction. So the real estate expert of choice is going to be days 1 through 4. So those will be your first 4 sessions. The second one is going to be 5 through 9. Lead follow-up is 10 through 13, and then transactions 14 through 20. And by the end of Ignite, you will be on the path to becoming the real estate expert of choice because you're going to create a value proposition that's robust for your business. You're going to develop a lead generation system within the lead generation model that comes from the best-selling book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which is, you'll hear us call it the Red Book or the MREA, written by co-founder Gary Keller. And you're going to establish a lead follow-up system that is going to revolve around the KW Touch plans, and you'll learn more about that. And then we're going to teach you how to take a transaction, a real estate transaction, from the beginning to a successful close so that you can get paid. And our goals by the end of Ignite are for you to have 1 or more appointments when we're done, and that you've begun the process of working with a buyer or seller to buy or sell a home, and that you've developed successful habits that are going to benefit you for the entire of your real estate career. If you do what we teach you in Ignite, you can expect to make about or complete about 16 transactions per year. So it's good stuff if you use it. All right. So today we are beginning with the real estate expert of choice, and the title of this section is Spark Your Career. So this is going to help you really get acquainted with Keller Williams and Ignite at high level. So you may have heard acronyms or things that you didn't know what they were. You're going to learn those tonight. You're going to learn what resources that are available for you to tap into. And then we're going to create a vision for the future and set some goals. So Ignite does instill in us a new way of thinking, we hope. And it's about having a success mindset and no doubts. So today we're going to talk about unlimited mindset fueled by the 6 personal perspectives. Again, these are things that you're going to hear over and over and over in Keller Williams, and this is just the beginning. So don't expect to remember all of this the first time. We're going to talk about KW culture. I think culture is the reason a lot of agents come here. So that's very important. The value of working with Keller Williams at your market center and your market center, and then making use of all those resources that we talked about. So hopefully we're going to supercharge your business. No, not hopefully. We're definitely going to supercharge your business, and we just want you to take the ball and run with it. All right. So Gary Keller says in the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will you? I think that's a great question. And I just want you to think about that for a minute, because this is a different market. And if you've been here a little while, you've experienced how different it is. If you're brand new, you don't know any better. So I would charge you with just going ahead and doing it, because there are people that won't. So, all right. We talked about the 6 personal perspectives, and these are them in a nutshell. So these are in your participant guide. So these came about when Gary Keller was researching people in all fields that were successful. And he was asking, what is it that differentiates people who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish much? And so from those answers, he came up with these 6 personal perspectives, and they work together. So, you can use one of these, but it's not going to take you as far as you can go if you were to utilize all of these. And we'll talk about that along the way. So you're aware, we talk a lot about these things apply to your business, but they also apply to your personal life. So committing to self-mastery, notice we did not say committing to mastery, because it's not about mastering just anything. It's about mastering yourself. Because when you commit to achieving self-mastery, you're going to know what your goals are. You'll know your strengths and weaknesses, and you'll know how to use those or how to work with them in order to master the knowledge and the skills and the good habits that you're going to need to reach your goals. Throughout Ignite, you're going to be acquiring these skills and developing habits to be successful, moving yourself towards this self-mastery. Think about the answer to these questions. So, are you committed to self-mastery? So that is to say, are you committed to knowing your goals and your strengths and weaknesses? And are you committed to acquiring the knowledge, the skills, and the habits that you need to do that? So I want to believe that you've answered the question for yourself. And I do believe that you've answered that question for yourself because you're here. So welcome. Now, the second of these personal perspectives is committing to the 80-20 principle. I'm sure some of you have heard of the Pareto principle. Well, that's what this is about. You may have heard, if you're in a group, 20% of the people do 80% of the work. If you look at it from the Keller Williams perspective, 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. So in Gary Keller's book, The One Thing, we talk about big rocks. Those are the dollar producing activities that you do. Those are the 20%. And you'll hear us talk that way. So, have you done your 20% work? That would be your lead generation. So for the most part. So just knowing that the 80-20 principle is very important when it comes to productivity. This next slide talks about moving from E to P. And as you'll notice in the box on your left, it says the entrepreneurial approach. So that's where the E comes from. And this is doing what comes naturally to you. So this is where you've got talents and you use those talents at a high level, and then things, sort of plateau, and then you become resigned, or you see this resignation because you don't seem to be moving any further. And then you think you're going to be in greener pastures there, and then you maybe give it another go and the cycle continues. The purposeful approach is doing what comes unnaturally. So you can think of the entrepreneurial approach as a comfortable approach. The purposeful approach is where you are going to become a little uncomfortable. And actually becoming uncomfortable is where breakthroughs occur. That ceiling of achievement, but instead of bouncing down, maybe you've had some kind of a failure, or you just know you can't push through any further. Instead of giving up, you get focused, you use the Keller Williams models and systems, and you have a breakthrough. That breakthrough is also facilitated by the help of mentors and coaches. Gary Keller says no one succeeds alone. And so that's what this is about, is becoming more than your natural talents allow you to be. So we grow to the extent, our business grows to the extent that we do. So our goal is to constantly be breaking through those ceilings of achievement. This is where the rubber meets the road. Now you've got becoming learning-based, should be the foundation of your action plan. And again, this is another one of those scenarios where you're proving that you're learning based because you're here. But what you want to do is, instead of learning just for the sake of knowing something, you want to learn and know what you need to do to grow beyond where you already are. So you want to get to higher self-actualization. It sounds a little woo-woo, but the truth is, the more you become the person you want to be, the bigger your business is going to grow. So, and we have lots of opportunities for you to do that here in Keller Williams. I would say that Albert Einstein was a learning-based individual, and I'm sure you all would agree. The quote here says, "I'm neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I'm only very, very curious." Now, we know that Albert Einstein was clever and gifted, but honestly, being curious is probably what drove to the heights that he was able to achieve. So stay curious, and you being eager to learn more, and you will continue to grow. Now, this is where I get, I have experience with agents running into blocks. So the fifth personal perspective is to remove those limiting beliefs. And high achievers remove those beliefs that hold them back. So it's not that they don't have them, they actually do something to get them out of the way. Limiting beliefs are those thoughts that tell you that you're not capable of doing something, like, I don't have time for training. I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours a day to lead generation. In order to successfully develop at a higher level, you've got to get rid of those limiting beliefs. Throughout Ignite, we're going to teach you how to overcome those. Think about what limiting beliefs you have right now. And there is an exercise in your participant guide called Reframe Limiting Beliefs. Got that in front of you. I want you to take a minute, come up with unlimited beliefs, because what you're going to do is you're going to say, instead of saying something like, I have to be an expert and know everything before I begin my business, I'm not valid yet, to something that's more empowering, like, I'm eager and confident to start my business now and learn along the way. So you want to make it something you can believe, even though you may not be there yet. So take some limiting belief that you have and turn that around into an unlimited belief. And then I'm going to ask a few of you to share.
I'd like to say something.
Please.
It would be like the imposter syndrome. It's not that fake until you make it, but at some point you gotta be brave to fail. And I'm talking about myself, and I'm the kind of person that I'm scared of failing, or saying something that giving the wrong information. So I read a lot, but then when it gets time to talk to people, I might pull back a little, or instead of replying right away, give me 24 hours to write like a 2-sentence email, just make sure I'm saying the right thing, I'm giving the right information.
Right. It's that analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Yes.
So what would be a specific instance? How could you frame what you just told me in a brief sentence about that? If it's just putting together an email to answer a question, how would you say that in the limiting belief?
Writing the email, let me find out that information for you, and I'll get back to you. So this way I'm not leaving them hanging.
Okay, so and you're explaining what you would say, but I would say that limiting belief is, I don't know the answers, or I don't know how to answer questions, or I don't have enough knowledge, right? And then what would the unlimiting belief be that would help you feel more confident about that?
I know people that know the answers, and I'll get back to you right away.
Beautiful. And for yourself, that internal thought would just be, I have people around me who do have the answers, or I know how to find the answers. And even better, I am resourceful, because that's really what you are. You're
Yes.
resourceful when you know, I don't know the answer, but I know where to find it. So that's where I think your confidence would come from, is from knowing that you do know what to do. Because are you going to know the answer to every question anybody ever asks you? So you just have to be resourceful and know that there are people around you that you can find those answers from. Thank you, Larissa, and I'm glad you're here.
Mhm.
Anybody
You're
else?
welcome.
For me to get started, I like wanted to watch a bunch of videos on like what I should say, what script I should do, this and that. But then I realized there's never like a perfect script. And then I realized as you go on, the more no's you get, the more closer you get to a yes. So
Right.
that kind
So
of just helped me because I was limiting my belief as in I was like, nah, I gotta like get it perfect. I gotta find out like everything to say. But then, the more no, like when I started telling myself, the more no's I get, the more like closer I will get to a yes. And that just kind of helped me out.
yeah, that's good. And I have heard, literally, I mean, if you think about it, sheer statistics, every no you get statistically moves you closer to a yes. So that's true. And the script piece, I feel like sometimes we think that there's a perfect script and there's not. And we think that we have to be perfect in using that script. And I do think that when you practice, like you're talking about, and when you are using that script over and over again, even if you fail, you're learning what works and what doesn't work. And so for me, instead of thinking I just stumble over my words, or my script isn't just right, that my real estate language is getting better every day, or you're learning, and I think you'll find this, I don't know how much calling you've been doing, but I do think what you'll find is that the longer you do this, the more instinctual your conversations will be. Because it won't be a matter of, oh, I have to catalog these scripts in my head and say exactly the right words. There will be triggers, and we talk about embedded commands. You'll hear something that will immediately trigger, oh, I need to use this embedded command here. I think that's the way you overcome that unlimiting belief, is that I am, just like you said, I'm getting better every day. The more no's I get, the closer I'm getting to a yes. And I said that deliberately that way, because if you are getting yeses and you have not gotten no's, you're not talking to enough people. And that comes from personal experience. I was so proud of myself because I told my coach at the time, I was probably a couple years in, and I told my coach, yeah, I'm really proud of myself. I've got 100% conversion rate with buyers. I thought that was wonderful. And she looked at me and she said, you're not talking to enough people, because if you're getting all yeses, you're playing it safe. So I love that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Anybody else with an unlimiting belief that you can come up with from a limiting belief?
I think kind of on the same note, but in a broader spec, I think a lot about going to fail. I'm going to give up. I'm not going to see it through. I already feel like I don't know enough of those limiting beliefs. And what I kind of twisted into is I've got a big group behind me that's kind of rooting for me. I've got friends, families. I've got a real estate team that I work for, that are all sitting there. I have the resources. I have the encouragement.
Yep.
I just need to see it in myself now,
Yep. I love that. And Jake, it's so funny that you said that, because I just had this conversation today. You are going to fail. That's part of the process. It's like when you learn to ride a bike, you don't just get on and just go. You get on and you wobble and you tip over, and you get on and you wobble and you overcorrect and you go the other way. And that's part of the process. So I love that you brought that up. So yes, you are going to fail, but failure is an action. It's not who you are. So we want to fail forward, because if you fall on your face, you're still a little farther ahead than you were, right? So I love that. Yeah. So yes, you have a team around you and you are failing. You're failing forward. So I'm going to fail my way to success. Good luck to you, Jake. Thank you for answering that. All right. We are going to move on. We talk a lot about being accountable. Now, my belief, and Keller Williams backs me up on this, is that nobody can hold you accountable. Yes, you can have an accountability partner and you can ask them to hold you accountable. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to do it, there's no accountability on the planet that's going to make you do it, right? So if you are an accountable person, you're going to seek reality. The person that doesn't want to be accountable is not going to ask any questions. They're going to pretend they didn't know. They're, just going to come from ignorance. But the person who wants to grow is going to say, what am I doing wrong? How could I have scripted that better? Why do I keep getting no's to this, presentation? Whatever it is, we want to know, right? So that's part of being accountable, is wanting to know and seek that reality. People who are not accountable, it's always someone else's fault or perception. That's not the way it is. They're in denial. And the person who wants to be accountable is very clear that this is the way it is. I've got it. I'll see what's going on. They're like accepting what is, and that's really important. The unaccountable person is going to blame and say, well, if everyone else would do their job, I have that sometimes when I'm working in a transaction and the agent on the other side isn't doing their job, and the agent that I'm working with is saying, well, that agent this and that agent that. And I tell them, if the other agent isn't doing their job, it's now your job. Because at the end of the day, it's got to be done and we have to be responsible. So it's kind of like that radical ownership stuff, as a real estate agent. We are a project manager on our side of the transaction. At the end of the day, if the other side of the transaction doesn't get done, we don't close. So you definitely want to own it. Then again, the person who's not accountable is going to make up excuses or they're going to deflect. This is kind of a combination of denial and blame. One of the other things that I love is I've tried everything. One of my favorite ones is when they say, I've tried everything. I don't know what else to do. I'm like, have you called everyone in your database? No. Well, that's an excuse, right? So the person who is accountable looks at the possibilities. And this, there's a lot of language in real estate that is super important in scripting, but also in your own head. So when something happens, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I can't do this, ask yourself, how could I do this? Because you already believe you can't. So you can't say, well, I know I can do this. Ask yourself, how can I do this? And your brain will literally go searching for the answer. Or, if you're in that scenario where you're not getting what you want, ask yourself, how can I get what I want? Or how could I get something closer to what I want? So think in possibilities. And then the last one, again, the unaccountable person just waits and hopes. And, one of my favorite ones is, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. Okay, I'm going to go out there and make it happen. You can sit and wait to see. And, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to succeed if you just, decide, okay, we're going to make this happen. Sometimes it still won't, but you have a better likelihood of making it happen if you don't resign yourself to, well, if it was meant to be. So people who are accountable have an action plan. Again, you may or may not get to the final destination, but if you have a plan, you're much more likely. So notice here at the bottom, the person who's not accountable is a victim, and they equal the status quo, right? The person who's accountable, they're willing to change. So be accountable. All right. But at Family Reunion, Sean Acor, the author of The Happiness Advantage, spoke. He says that happiness is not an individual sport. And I already told you that Gary Keller says no one succeeds alone. That is one of the things that I love about Keller Williams, is that we definitely support each other. And, you might be asking yourself, what difference does it make, whether I'm happy or not? This is about productivity. Well, being happy at the end of the day is why you're going to be productive, right? And I always tell people, set your personal goals first and then set your business goals, because Tony Robbins, who's one of my favorites, says that success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So you want to be fulfilled, and happiness is just part of that. So, all right, moving right along. Just on the section that we've covered so far, what aha moments or what thoughts are you having about the 6 personal perspectives, or anything in general that we've talked about so far? Anybody?
I guess I just, the diagram with, breaking through and doing what comes naturally to you, yes, can only take you but so far, but that's not what's going to get you to that next level. It's being uncomfortable with being uncomfortable,
That's right.
especially when you're not familiar with the field that you're in. I'm currently in retail. I've been in retail for 15 years, so it's uncomfortable to be in this space that I've never been in, but I know that the more uncomfortable I get, the more comfortable I'll be, and I'll be able to break through and be successful.
Yep, I love that, Tristan. And the cool thing is, coming from retail, you're going to have skills that are going to transfer over. You'll just have to learn, how to do that. And really, all of you, I mean, if you're living and breathing, you've got skills that you'll be able to transfer into this business. And that's one of the ways that your business will look unique. I was a school teacher, and so, I brought that to the table. There were other things I did, maybe that weren't my job, but that were other parts of my life that helped me with that too. Somebody else?
I have one. Mine is don't be afraid to fail. Failing forward is good.
It's really good. And I think when we are afraid to fail, we do get paralyzed. So Tamika, I hope you fail a lot and fail fast. And I really do. I think the more you fail, the bigger success you're going to have, because that means you're really out there taking risks. Good. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, we are going to move on. We are really big on mindset here. And we're also big on models and systems that improve the success strategies. So our job is to take advantage of this wisdom so that we can succeed. And that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to look at our KW culture that's going to power you through your career. And this, I think a lot of people come to Keller Williams for the culture, or they stay for the culture. We have here a variety of things. So we have an entire page that's devoted to culture. If you go to KW Connect, it's our company intranet, I-N-T-R-A, intranet, of resources that are available to you. And if you go in there, you'll see the MVVVP, which is our mission, values, vision, beliefs, and purpose. You'll learn about Red Day, KW Cares, KW Kids Can, our diversity, equity, and inclusion, and then cultural ambassador. You can go on the site and check these out. Let's take a look at those missions, mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. In your participant guide, you do have the mission there. But our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. I think we are good at touching on those first few things, but I think the thing that lays the foundation for a really large business, and I say large, I don't necessarily mean physically large, but that's fulfilling and gives you the things that you want for your life, comes with these last pieces, with lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. So moving right along, you may have heard of the Y4C2Ts. These are the beliefs of our company. A lot of these, if you'll notice, they probably sound familiar to you. Some of them come from Stephen Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then some of these, we just added equity not too long ago. So this is evolving, but it is really our belief system. So we do believe that in win-win, no deal or no deal, integrity, doing the right thing, the customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seeking first to understand, creativity, so ideas before results, teamwork, together, the acronym together, everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and then success results through people. All right. We mentioned Red Day and KW Kids Can and KW Cares. Red Day is when we shut our doors in all our market centers and we give back to our communities. You will have a project in your market center, and all the people in your market center will, well, obviously we want all the people, but, we hope that as many people as possible can participate. And it just depends on what your market center chooses. But Mo Anderson, who was the founder of our culture, really, her birthday is in May. And so we celebrate it on the second Thursday of every May because it coincides with her birthday. And that's what we do. We renew, energize, and donate. So it could be that we did a project recently where we went and did some landscaping and pressure washing of this home for women who had either been in prison or in rehab. And so some of us went and did the physical work. Some people provided equipment. Some people just donated cash because, they weren't able to attend. So there's a multitude of ways that you can participate there. KW Cares there will be KW Cares in your market center that will take care of more local needs and that kind of thing. And then KW Cares from KW International, that will take care of bigger issues. And then KW Kids Can is dedicated to empowering young adults. And interestingly, this program is actually for young adults. So I think the KW Kids Can be a little misleading, but you can donate and get involved in any of these organizations or parts of our organization. So definitely be involved in those. We are going to move on. And in this section, we're going to talk about that we're a global company and how that can benefit you and your clients. So in 1983, Keller Williams, since 1983, Keller Williams has cultivated an agent-centric, technology-driven, and education-based culture that rewards agents as its stakeholders. So we are the largest global real estate franchise by agent count and have more than 1,100 offices and 200,000 associates. I would venture to say that probably is even more now. We're number one in units and sales volume in the United States and at the forefront of technology, training, and culture. We're going to talk more about this at some other point, but we have won lots of awards for technology, and we've been named number one in training, not just in real estate, but across all industries. So I'm pretty proud of that. WX is a holding company of Keller Williams and is composed of Keller Williams Worldwide, Keller Manage, Keller Offers, Keller Home Financial Services, which consists of Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered, all of which are designed to help us and to help us serve our clients. Some of these pieces we already have available to us depending on what market center we're in, and some of these are not, we're not fully utilizing them yet, but we will be. I mentioned earlier some of these awards, and I actually, as I was preparing for this class, I went and looked on the website, and I didn't catch where it was from, but we were named recession-proof businesses. And it's like, I'm going to start sharing that information because I think that's really good for newer agents to hear. We have been voted many times best places to work, best places for women, graduates, best customer experience. And we actually, that is one of our foci this year is future is customer experience. And we've always focused on that. But it's like taking a front seat to everything else now is customer service and the customer experience. And then we've been named several times as well for franchise for veterans. So lots and lots of things to be proud of here. Again, we've received technology awards, innovation awards, all kinds of things. And so while it's stuff to be proud of, it's actually stuff that does impact our business and our ability to serve. Just keep those in mind. So I am not going to go online, but you do have access to courses 24/7 through KW Connect. So if you go to KW Connect, you will find these Connect Live videos that are just a plethora of good information. And a lot of times you will find great ideas for your business just from agents that have tried something and it worked. And instead of us hoarding information in this company, we share it. So if somebody does something and they have great success with it, they're going to share that. So keep an eye on that. As I mentioned before, we're known for our coaching and training. We've earned top awards. We do Bold a couple of times a year in most market centers. Here in Murfreesboro, in Middle Tennessee, we are currently in Bold. We're right in the middle. But that is something that you will want to check into. So when you're in this intranet section, you can also find materials that will go along with the videos and things like that. So in fact, even right now in Ignite, this picture shows you the old Ignite, but you'll see a picture of the new Ignite, and you can literally just go in there and access the materials as well. We do have 2 big events every year. One of those is Family Reunion, which I mentioned before. It's in February, and it's over several days. And Gary Keller always gives his keynote speech that talks about the vision for the company. And then Mega Camp is over several days in August. And Mega Camp is smaller, more focused, and very useful. And then we also have things like the fall and the spring mastermind. So this all goes back to being learning based. So you have all kinds of opportunities here. I also just want to mention with Command, you will have training in your market center that will help you make the most of it. But I highly recommend Marty Miller's 66-day challenge. You can find the original or the initial video on YouTube. And then from there, he tells you where to find the next one. You want to do the one that is version 5. So it's the most recent version. He updated the videos every time there were major, updates to Command. And we are constantly improving Command. So, but definitely check out that Marty Miller's 66-day challenge. What it does is it walks you through a series of very short videos that will take you step by step through using Command. And if you're new, or if you just have not been embracing technology much, it is a great way for you to dip your toe in the pool and gradually, get into Command so that you'll start good habits. Because honestly, if you get into your business and you're not using your CRM at a high level, and I highly recommend, and I don't get paid to say use Command. It's free to use. So you might as well, and I say that it's free to you. I mean, it really, if you're going to pay to your market center, you might as well, take advantage of it. But it's also, and Maddie, I don't know, if there's a 7.0, I was not aware of it. But yeah, look for Marty Miller's 66-day challenge and look for the most recent or the highest version. So make sure that you are using the technology. If you get started and you are not using these things at a high level, then when you do get busy, it's more difficult to keep up with things. And you actually can do your transaction from the time you meet a person and put them in as a contact until you close the transaction. So I would highly recommend that you use it, and then you don't have to do things in multiple places. So for me, Command is when I walk into my office and I open my computer in the morning, this is the first thing I want to see, not my email, none of that. I actually want to come in here and I want to look at what I need to be doing for the day. So you can set it up so that, when you open it up, you're going to have your tasks right in front of you. Command is your database with all your people in it, with all their contact information. It's your goal tracker. As you can see here, these are some of the aspects of the goal tracker section. So it's going to help you track your activities, your conversion rates, your projected income. The task manager, again, like I said, that's the first thing I look at. It helps you keep track of the things that you need to do. So it helps you with follow-up. And it helps you so that when you sit down in the morning, you're not going, what should I be doing right now? You'll know exactly what you should be doing. It's a marketing suite of newsletters, postcards, mailers, presentations, social media posts. I mean, you name it, you can do it through Command. And then you also have access to referral agents. So this can become where, the place where you create a referral network. And because we are global, you can do that anywhere from your state, the country, or anywhere all over the world. So, all right. This is the Command app, and I'm really excited about this. This app also has been developing and growing. When we first got it, there was not a lot of capability, but we knew that it was going to be grown in Keller Williams. So I was, confident that it was going to really grow into what we need it to be. So it is your pocket interface to your desktop. So there are a lot of things that will work between the two. It's not fully enabled yet, but it will be. So it will remind you of the things that you need to do. It's going to store your contacts. You can actually make phone calls and texts and things like that through the app, and make notes about your conversations so that you don't have to worry about getting to your laptop to do that. You'll have access to your database through the app, and you can, again, as I said, contact them directly through the app. So if you haven't downloaded your app yet, you will do it, and somebody can help you with that if you don't know how. Then we have the consumer app. So one of the apps is red and one of them is white. The Command app is red and the consumer app is white with the red KW on it. And so this is the consumer facing app, and your contacts can search by neighborhood, zip code, school district, some landmarks, and you can communicate to your clients through the app. You can keep track of showings, and this is a good way for you to see what your client is looking at, what they're interested in. And you can actually buy, sell, and facilitate the transaction through your app. So let's see, in day 3 of Ignite, so not next week, but the next week, they will walk you through, if you haven't already done it, you'll be walked through how to download and brand your app. So don't give your app to anybody. Don't send it out to someone until it's branded. And the way you'll know that it's branded is when you go in and you push the button. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. If you touch that, it will show my agent, and you should be your agent in the app. And then when you share it with people, it would automatically be branded to you. Then we also, you can also get the DocuSign app. Now, DocuSign and Command are integrated, and they are becoming more fully integrated as we go. So that's really nice. But you also have, you can also get the DocuSign app for your phone. And so while you can't do everything, there are some things that you can do. So it is helpful to have that on your phone. I don't know if any of you, if everyone has access to this, but I know in Keller Williams in Middle Tennessee, we have something called the Key Please app. It's KEYPLEAZ. And that is an app where you can find people who are looking to host an open house or looking to do a showing for pay, or you need someone to do a showing or hold an open house for you. And there are a few other things that are involved, but there may be other apps in your market center or in your area that you may have access to. So ask your tech person what other pieces of technology are available to you. Now, I noticed there's, you notice there's all these X's here. If we were teaching this in our individual market centers, there would actually be numbers in these slots. I purposely don't put the numbers in here because we're from all over the country, and what's true in one market center is not true in another. But I wanted you to see, this is what we call the language of real estate. And when we're talking about the language of real estate, we're talking about closed units, closed volume, listings taken volume, listings sold volume, contracts written volume, and closed GCI. Those may not mean anything to you right now, but they will. And so what we want to know is how our numbers are month over month and how they are year to date. And we need to know how to interpret those numbers. And again, that's something that you'll learn more in your market center, because your market center statistics are going to be different. But this information is updated monthly, and I'm sure all your market centers get this information out to you in different ways. I know in our market center, we have marketing pieces created for us so that we can share this with the public. Not all these pieces, but in our market, as far as numbers go, all these other details, the ones that are not necessarily of interest to the public, those are shared with us as well, just so that we're aware of what's going on. And that way you can be more informed. You can be the real estate expert, because that's really what we're after here. All right. So the language of real estate will also apply to your personal business. And we'll talk more about that in coming sessions. And we'll look at your individual businesses from that language of real estate perspective. Your market center value is all the people that are going to help you in your market center and basically what they do. Now, you'll notice, again, this is blank, but it's blank because I don't know who all your people are, and we couldn't post it for everyone that's here. But knowing these things, these people, these, the date of your red day, the people on your leadership team, and then your ALC members, your ALC being your agent leadership. You'll know who those people are in your market center and what their role is. So you'll have someone, maybe for growth or for education, technology. And these are the leaders in your office who are top producing agents, and they help govern the market center. So they help along with your leadership team. So you'll have different people in your office, and you'll find out who those folks are. All right. So I mentioned wealth. We talk not only about how to generate wealth as an agent, but we also talk about passive income in Keller Williams. So we have profit share and growth share. And obviously, these are the advantages of passive income. There's no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, no phone calls. It's what we call mailbox money. So when you introduce someone to Keller Williams and they become an agent, then you get rewarded basically for their success. You don't have to do anything for it. Now, most of us are going to mentor the people that we bring in. And, you also have coaches and other mentors in the office that can help do that. So while most of us do help the people that we bring in, there's nothing required of you. So that's kind of cool, right? And then the cool part is that after you're vested, and I believe it's 7 years, you can pass the passive income, the profit share to your heirs. So if you have people in your downline and you pass away and you name your spouse or your children as your heirs, they will continue to get those profit share checks after you've passed. Then growth share is when you help grow the company outside of the United States or Canada. And that's a bigger piece that you can learn more about later. But so if you do have interest in helping Keller Williams grow outside of our shores, that's something you can do as well. Some of your market centers, and I don't know which ones, but you can check with your market center to see if your market center offers K-score. which is free real estate school for people that want to become licensed. And like I said, while not all market centers offer it, check into your market center and see if they do. And if they do, then that's a great way for you to talk to people who you think might be. And then, you know, because you've introduced them to this opportunity, I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to name you for profit share. So what other ahas or thoughts are you having at this moment?
Someone did mention to me about one of the apps. I know it's not Command. I think you made mention of it. But I think it's pretty cool how, you know, someone can, you can pretty much track a potential client or a lead and see what properties that they're looking at to help, you know, figure out what price range they're in, even if they don't want to tell you, or they say they're not interested. And, you know, looking at a property and you say, wait a minute, they're looking at, you know, something that's outside of the price range. So maybe they have more than what they're telling you. So I think that's a cool feature to have.
Mhm.
I don't think mine is branded yet, but that's something I look forward to doing because I constantly interact with people throughout the day. And it's easy to just, you know, shoot them a link and then, you know, you're able to follow up because, you know, you have their email or whatever it is, contact information, and, you know, be able to constantly generate leads. And, you know, that being that Command tracks all that information, you're able to see, hey, so-and-so is looking at, you know, a property in this town in this price range. And it really helps
Right.
to take out the guesswork when people don't want to be upfront with you and tell
Mhm.
you all the information, you know, that you would need for like a buyer's lead sheet or whatever it may be.
Mhm. Mhm. Good stuff. Yep. I agree. Yeah. And it's just the Keller Williams, we call, like in the market centers, we just call it the client facing app, but it's basically, it's the white square with the red KW in it. And I know when you look it up, I don't remember exactly what I was trying to look it up on my phone, but every time I do, it does something squirrely. But you know, we have the KW Command app, which is the red with the white KW, and then the client facing app is white with the red. So if that helps you at all, and your agent services person or your tech person in your market center, if you aren't familiar with that, they can help you with that.
Mary, is there one that has a blue background?
We used to,
Blue and white?
yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because some of the materials that I work through still mentions the Kelly app. That app is no longer in use. That app actually was sort of a combination of some of the different things that we have capabilities of now. And so Command is really what Kelly used to be, but it's not entirely the same thing because Command literally is connected to Command. Kelly had some connections to Command, but Kelly did other things too. So, and it's kind of funny because we did win an innovation award for the Kelly app, and then we gave her the axe. So the Kelly app is no longer, it was KELLE, and it was kind of that aqua color. But we don't use that app anymore. So just for your info, good for you. That's exciting.
Thank you.
All right. We are going to talk about these things. We're not going to go into a great deal of information, but to just reiterate here that we have these companies. So Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. I have actually used Keller Mortgage a few times and have been pleased with it. We are going to talk more about these later in Ignite. And so the goal of Keller Williams, if you'll notice, you see this wheel, is to keep us at the center of the transaction. So we're together with our clients in the middle, the people that are selling and buying. We have different ways to connect with them. So if they're selling, we're helping them negotiate, we're helping them market, we're helping them renovate so that they can get ready to sell. We give them options to sell. And then we help them with the move out. Now, I don't mean like go move the furniture. You could, but help them find movers and that kind of thing. On the buy side, we help them plan and search for a home. We help them negotiate the sale. We help them find mortgage lenders. We help them find insurance agents. We help them with, getting their title company and for closing and attorneys, and we help them move in. And again, like I said, I'm not going to go carry furniture, but, we might help them find cleaning services and things like that to help make the move easy. The little piece at the bottom there in purple is what we're doing when they're not buying or selling. And this is why you really want to become their realtor for life. It's not, I'm going to become your realtor for the transaction. So just a couple of those here are helping them with upgrades to their home and repair and maintenance. One of my favorite scripts when I'm calling just to check in on people is, I don't know if you know this or not, but real estate agents don't just buy and sell real estate. We can also help you find vendors for things that you need for the care of your home. So if you ever need a roofer, an electrician, a plumber, you need an insurance person, I'm happy to help you with all those things. Keller Williams gives us some of these options with Keller Mortgage, Keller Managed, Keller Covered, and Keller Offers. We also, again, going back to the international thing, we have Keller Williams Worldwide. So those are just some of the ways that we help our clients. So I do have to read this disclaimer, literally have to read it verbatim. So pursuant to RESPA, Keller Williams agents and associates must provide an ABA disclosure to the consumer at or before any referral is made to Keller Mortgage. More information on RESPA and the ABA disclosure can be found here or at kwconnect.com/page/industry-resource/referrals-RESPA. All right, moving right along. We do have Keller Williams communities. So we want to continue to expand the needs, to meet the needs of all associates in our communities. So we have diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have KW Commercial, KW Land, KW Luxury, KW Military, KW New Homes, KW Sports and Entertainment, and KW Young Professionals. So if you find any of these communities interesting, you can find more information about them. You go on to KW Connect or go ask, in your market center. All right. So, and, just in thinking about the communities, we just find more and more ways in this company to connect. And that's just one of those ways, because it is, some of it is beneficial to the to the client, and some of it is beneficial to the agent. And so I just think it's a great way. Yeah.
Miss Mary Dunn. So, okay, with the KW military and then the sports and entertainment. Now, I have inquired about the military. My husband's Navy, but retired, disabled actually. So he's been out of the Navy. And they were like, yeah, you can do, you can work with, I'm like, I can work with anyone, right? I mean, I'm my own agent. So what is it? What is KW military? What is the difference? I was told that lenders will most likely at this market push them back to the VA anyway for a lender loan, for the loans.
Mhm.
What does that mean? What does the KW military mean? I have no idea. I've asked twice, two different coaches, so I was curious.
Right. So I would say that the way that I look at it is with all of these communities is that when you become a part of that community, you are connecting yourself to other agents that are dealing with the same things, because that's why they're called communities. And so what you want to do is connect with people in that community, and
So
they will have resources and
It's not
practices and
about,
things like that.
okay, it's not about like a direct connect, like KW offers this
No.
particular lender. Okay, that's where my confusion was.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that's
I got
why
you.
I think that sometimes people don't make enough of a point to state that this is a community.
Mm.
So it's a group of people to be with who are
Mhm.
doing the same thing.
Okay,
So you're right. So when an agent comes to you and you say, "Oh, I'm a KW military agent, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have some, special platform. But what it does mean is that you have been working with other agents or interacting with other agents that have done this. And they may tell you, hey, we know of a great lender who does these special programs for veterans.
Well,
That would
that's
just be something you would share with each other, but it is not necessarily Keller Williams driven.
thank you.
So we are going to talk about your career vision. So I'm just going to ask a series of questions and I want you to just think about these. So my first question here is, what drew you to this career? And then what excites you about this career? What do you intend to achieve for yourself and your family? Those questions in mind, you have in your participant guide. And if you don't have it, it's all here on the screen. It says 1 year from now. So imagine that it is November 8th, 2023. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center, or rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80%. Remember, we talked about that, while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to, when you envision your own ideal future, how does that make you feel? This is where you come up with the number that you want to fund your big life. So we want to expand our thinking beyond 1 year and think about, what is it that you want to do for people you care about? What charities would you support? And how would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? And in the boxes around this, you want to fill in the people and the projects that you care most about. And if you need to add more boxes, add more boxes. And add an amount that you'd like to spend on each one. So for example, if you wanted to pay for both of your children's college, or you wanted to pay off your home or your car, or donate money to a local soccer field, put those there and what those things would cost. And then when you're done, add those numbers up. And Ignite is about helping you work on the skills and the habits that are going to help you get what you want. I'm sure that some of you have already put some of the things on here. What I want to know is, what are your thoughts around filling this out?
I think, Mary Dawn, it's kind of like that bold situation where you have to be accountable for what you put down in a lot of senses. If you want it, you're accountable for what you put in there. So I saw the 364. I thought, oh, snap. But I'll put that a little lower. But I have dogs, so I like the model for your big life, and absolutely, I would like to triple that. So I think it's just no one said. I think there's 72 participants. I think it's the accountability aspect of. Everyone sits around on a Saturday and says, "Oh, I want to win $1 million." What if you work for it? What if you work for that?
I love that.
$250,000 or $500,000. So.
And let me ask you this, since you said it, if you earn $1 million, do you win?
No, you're going to keep working, but
but hold on a minute.
Oh,
think about what I asked you.
Mm-hmm. Do I win?
If you earned $1 million, did you win?
I mean, if that was my goal or it exceeded my goal, I would say absolutely, that's a total win.
Exactly.
And if I put $100,000 in there and I got 364, total win. So, you want to elevate up. So yeah, I guess just being your accountability for that number and what you really want to do. see it and believe it, sort of, Wayne Dyer, I'm a big fan. So
Yep, me too.
I know he
Me too.
passed, but he was my guru. Yeah.
Well,
And I think,
and that was why I pointed out, I mean, if you are capable of earning $1 million, that is a huge win. So for me, honestly, I would rather earn that million than just win it magically by doing the lottery, because it's not about the thing that you attained. It's about who you become along the way. And you'll hear that a lot in Keller Williams as well. But here's the other question I want to ask you. And I hope that those of you that are watching are learning from this, since you're not actually the one saying it. You said, I would love to see, or you said something about tripling that number. How would that, like, if you said, I'm going to triple this number, how does that make you feel?
me personally, well, it makes me feel excited, but also very nervous. I mean, the number I put into my PC coach 2 weeks ago, I said, this is what I want to do. And I know I'm brand new. I may not reach that number, but I'm going to do everything I can to make this number. This year in this market that everyone says is a shift, this is the regular market that I'm used to, so I just said, I'll push forward. I'll keep going. If I don't make it, I don't make it, but I'm not stopping week 3.
Right. So I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but the answer that you gave is actually truthful for everyone in here. I would be shocked if there's anyone that would not agree, because what you said was, it makes you both excited and nervous. And that is the reality for most of us, is you want a number. And this is the way I describe it to people, is you want a number that's going to make you a little sick to your stomach, because if it's a number that you feel comfortable with, that's fine. You can make money, but you're not going to push through that, earlier with that E to P, you're not going to push through that ceiling of achievement. So if I have made $50,000 all my life, and I come in and I say, I want to make $50,000 selling real estate, why did you even bother changing jobs? Unless you just hated your other job. But
that's
yeah,
what the
so
broker said. Exactly. And I
Right.
said, and that was our conversation. And I said, well, no, I mean, I could have stayed where I was, but this is what I really want, because he kept saying, what's the another, what's the lowest number? What's the lowest number? And then finally I said, stop. I don't want any of that. What I'm trying to do is this. And what I want to do, try is really a bad word, but what I want to do is this. And what I'm going to do, or, strive for, is this. So that was exactly.
Well, it's the corny saying, if you shoot for the moon and you'll land among the stars. It's corny, but it's very true. So if you set the goal, so back in my example, you say you've never made over $50,000 and you set your goal for 100 this year and you make 75, that's great. Are you going to be upset that you didn't make 100? No. But by the same token, if you're capable of making $100,000 and you set that goal for $100,000, you're not going to grow. So you want to set that goal higher. I had someone tell me that she told her coach she wanted to make 100. Well, first she actually said she just wanted to be able to make at least, she said, I'd be happy with anything. He said, I need a number. And she was like, 25,000. And he said, that's ridiculous. How much do you really want to make? And they had this long discussion about it. And she finally said, okay, I want to make $100,000. And he said, that's great. He knew she had had a breakthrough, right? And he said, now double it. And she hit that number that year. So a lot of the time, it's not that we can't do it, it's that we don't believe we can do it. Jake?
I was going to say, I just wanted to jump in real quick, because as you two were talking about it, I never thought about it as breaking it down between your goals of, I want, the $500,000 for the cat habitat and the 120 for the school debt, and then adding it together. I saw it as the lump sum and then break it up. And I kind of liked the idea of break it up and then put it together and see what you need. And while you two were talking, that was my thought. I'm like, I'm going to add it up, figure out what I need, and I want to double that. So
I
when
love
you
it.
just said that, like, like we're going to double this time, that's exactly what I was thinking through your guys' entire conversation was
sign.
whatever I need, double it.
It's
And
a
then I'll be
sign.
happy.
And I'll just tell you, since we're on this subject, this is a lesson that you'll hear later. But because you said it, I have to say it. So I always tell people, if someone tells you they're going to sell their home in a year, I always do this. Cut that number in half. Because if they tell you a year and you wait to contact them till month 9, they're going to say, oh, I sold it 3 months ago. So I love numbers. And so, yes, if they tell you they're going to sell, cut that in half. If you've got a goal, set the goal and double it. And that's
And
your
that's
real
actually
goal.
good to hear too, because I have a few people in my pipeline who are like, oh, we're actually looking to buy, but we're about 2 years down the line. We're a year down the line. We're building our credit.
Yep.
We're getting
Cut it in
the
half.
down payment together or whatever. So I'm going to use that now and be like, you know what? Let's take that. Let's cut it in half. You want to buy in a year or in 2 years? Let's get you in a year.
Yep.
You want to buy in 1 year? Let's get you in 6 months. What do we have to do? What's our goal to get you there? And let's focus on that relentlessly until we have you in a house.
I love it. I love it. You're going to be a great success. That's awesome. Okay. I'm going to apologize in advance. We're going to whiz through the rest because I don't want to keep you too long. So, to achieve your success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it, which is your big why, which we just talked about. I don't think I need to say anything more than that. I think we covered that. We are going to show you, and this is actually a really valuable tool for when you're talking to agent or to clients. So I do this with single dollar bills when I'm talking to clients if they're trying to get me to reduce a commission, but this is just for you to understand where your money goes. So half of it, if you're the listing agent, is going to go straight to the buyer's agent. Then you're going to give it a third of that to your market center. And then if you want to grow your business, you're going to have to spend it on business expenses. So there goes that. Uncle Sam is going to get his part. And I honestly think his part is bigger than that. And so that's what you're left with. Very little. Now that I don't say that to be discouraging. I say that to say we go back to our doubling your goal. If you really want to take home the money that's going to fund those big dreams and that big life, you've got to do more. You've got to really think big. So this is just an example. If you had an income goal of $100,000, if you say, for example, now all market centers have different caps, so ignore the number if this is not your market center's number, but you have your company dollar and your royalty. You've got your business expenses. So here's your total gross income commission or commission income. And then you take that number and divide it by your market's average commission. When you do that, that will tell you how many transactions you're going to have to complete to hit that number. Remember earlier I showed you in Command those circles with the goal setting? Command will actually calculate that number for you so you know exactly how many people you need to talk to, how many appointments you need to go on, how many things you need to convert, and you literally can break it down that easily. So Jake, when you were talking about pulling it apart and all that, that's what we do with those numbers is we break those numbers apart so that it's really hard to think, oh my God, I've got to do 20 transactions this year. But it's really easy to go back and look, oh, I only need to make 5 contacts a day to do that. We teach you 10 contacts a day and Bold teaches you 20. But when you look at your conversion rates and you're looking at your own database, you will actually see it does not take as much as you think it's going to take. So again, you'll figure out these numbers for yourself. And you will learn about the daily success system. And that is going to be where the rubber meets the road. You're going to be making, during Ignite, as I said, you'll be making 10 contacts a day. You'll be, which is, I say contacts. You're going to have conversations. Contacts are people. And when we make a contact, it's a two-way conversation, but the conversation is what we're focused on. So you're going to make 10 conversations. You're going to add 10 people to your database every day. You're going to do 10 handwritten notes, and then you're going to do the 10-5-1 social media engagement. If you've been around, if you are familiar with Ignite, you'll know we did not used to do this, the social media engagement. You will learn about that in next week's session. They will tell you exactly what that means. The social media is becoming, social media has been a part of this business for a while, and we are finally giving in and realizing, okay, we need to get on that bandwagon. So we're doing that. Enrichments would be things that your own market center provides as opportunities for you to, sometimes it might be going on showings, certain events that you might do together, but those would be market center specific. So remember, do not call people on the do not call list. I have a lot of theories and opinions about that, but keep yourself out of trouble. If it's a FSBO, they put their sign up saying, call me. So that's all I'm going to say about that, but don't call people on the do not call list. Powerful language gets results. We're going to talk about that in the next session. So, or in this next section. And we're not going to be able to get through it all. If you can stay and you want to stay, stay. If you cannot, please feel free to leave when you need to leave. But lead generation is the most important part of our business. And what we want to do is we want to uncover motivations, identify objections, and at the end of the day, we want to close deals. So we want to speak in terms that the customer understands. I'm bad about going into realtor speak. And so I have to remind myself that they don't know what we know. And practicing these conversations is what's going to help you build confidence. So we all use scripts. We don't realize that's what they are. But if you've walked into a store, someone says, did you find everything you were looking for? That's a script. When you drive through Chick-fil-A and they say, my pleasure, that's a script. So there are tons and tons of places that you go where you will hear scripts. We have tons of scripts that will teach you, but we also have, we're moving more toward a conversational type script. There are still things that are scripted, but we focus more on things that are good to say and things that are probably not as useful or don't work as well. And so you can craft a script from that. So like we talk about the Ford model, where you talk about, family and friends, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So while that's not technically a script, it's a framework for a script. So I'm going to get on the phone, I'm going to ask them about their family. I'm going to ask them, about their job. And that's just a way to kind of keep you on track with the conversations that you're going to have. So we talk about our sphere of influence. So these are people that you've met. They might be people that are very close to you. They might be people that you just know casually, but we want to be in contact with our sphere. And so this is one great way for you to know who you need to focus on. You want to be talking to everyone you know, but if you're talking about converting leads, you want to talk to people that are at these peaks of this likelihood to move arc or wave. So you want to stay in touch with people, throughout, but as they're approaching this mark, this is why I say that, cut the number in half. If they tell you they're moving in, 10 years, well, that's probably closer to 5, but I'm going to start that conversation sooner than that. Most of the time people in our market are usually moving between every 3 to 5 years. So know those numbers for your market and find out, when is it most likely that they're going to be moving, and then really focus on them. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Oh no. Okay, let me see if I can get rid of that. And I don't want to hit the wrong thing. Let's see. There's got to be a way to X out. Any tech people know how to shut this? Let's see. I might have to stop it and reshare. Nope, because it's still like that. Hold on a second. All right. That was really bizarre. Ah, I fixed it. Okay. I love it how people are always willing to help. Thank you for that comment. All right. Let me go back to my slide. All right. That was scary. I've had a lot of technology issues in the last few weeks in our market center, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no. All right. So again, I got ahead of myself. I mentioned the Ford model. This is a great way for you just to come up with, questions to generate a conversation. And I won't give you examples because that'll take up more time. And you guys are smart enough to, I will say on the dreams, that is one where if somebody has been focused on some big dream of theirs, because you're not going to say, hey, had any dreams lately? But, if you say, oh, I know you guys were planning that trip to Europe. How's that going? Or something like that. All right. And whew, we made it, I think. Yep, we did. So now, if you have any ahas, and I do apologize for rushing through that last few minutes, but I'm so annoyed when I'm in a class and people run over. I love getting the extra material and all of that, but I also have other things I have to do, and I know you guys do too. So any questions, thoughts, anything like that before we go? And I'm here, so if I don't mind staying a few minutes longer if I need to.
I just wanted to point out on the last slide, it said that don't fear your sphere. I've had a really hard time with I'm new, I licensed last week. I've had a really hard time trying to accept the fact that I'm not going to be bugging them per se by reaching out for that first phone call or text message or something. And I had a conversation with my coach today kind of about that. And we went over a couple of things and she just was like, I mean, it's not going to draw blood. The worst they're going to do is say, no, thank you. But it was something that I'm still having a hard time. I don't want to pester people or bug them coming into this. So I like that little don't fear your sphere thing.
And I was very much like that myself. But what I learned, luckily, I didn't wait too long, but I did learn that people want to help people they care about. And you're not really asking them to do anything that you wouldn't ask them to do in just a normal conversation. So one of the things you might think about is, as you're getting ready to call this person, think to yourself, how would you feel if they called you and they said, hey, Faith, I just started this new job and I'm just, wondering if you know anybody that would be interested in this product or service. How would you feel about that?
I would understand and probably give them the information that they're asking for.
You'd want to help them, right?
Yeah.
But I totally understand what you're talking about, because I can remember holding the phone thinking, oh my God, because really, like you said, what's the worst they can do? I hate you, never call me again. They're not going to do that. They might, there are going to be some people that might be irritated. They might be impatient, but honestly, I think you're going to find that it's very, very, very few people. Most people want to help you. Most people, you know, they want to see you grow. So they're going to be happy to help you. And the other thing is you got to remember, you're not really asking them, like you're not asking them to give you money. You're not asking them to sign a contract. All you're doing is asking them, hey, when you run across somebody who needs what I can offer, would you just share them with me? That's all.
And
you
if I
will
can
find-
piggyback off that, because I've had that same fear, and I've literally sat there like with the phone in my hand scrolling through contacts, and they're like, skip over them, you haven't talked to them in forever, and they're going to be like, why are you hitting me up now that you need something or whatever, you know? And honestly, some of them were those people that turned out to be the ones who were like, actually, yeah, we're looking to move. We're just trying to build our credit score, or we're trying to get that down payment together or whatever. And it's like, okay, I haven't talked to you in like 8 years. You're an old coworker. I didn't even know if this was still your phone number, you know?
Yeah.
And they've been really receptive to it, which kind of helped me get over that fear. And on top of it, my coach told me, they're like, kind of what you were saying earlier in the class of like, if you're not getting no's, you're not reaching enough people. She's like, keep calling them back until they say, F off, don't call me anymore. And then you've done
I
it.
love
You've
that.
succeeded, you know?
And that's, I don't use that phrasing, but I might start, but I tell them, you know, I don't stop calling someone until they tell me, never call me again. And then what I do is I put their name away for some time when I'm really bored and I want to just get somebody riled up, you know, or who knows. And I will say this, I had an agent who told me earlier this year, he said, I had a list of people that I had reached out to a couple of years ago, and then he just kind of lost momentum. So I was helping him get back on track. And he said, I pulled that list out and I started calling those names again. He said, the woman that hung up on me 2 years ago, I had a very nice conversation with her and we've developed a relationship and I think we'll do business in the future. And this is the woman that hung up on him. So, you know, and I will say this too, you will find out that every once in a blue moon, not people in your sphere more than likely, but you will get somebody that hangs up on you or that's rude to you. But honestly, most people are nice. Most people. And I think, I do think sometimes too, it's probably just the way you prepare mentally for it. So Jake, I loved your scrolling thing because this is how I used to do lead generation. It was, I think I need to go do laundry. I mean, that was it. And then I was done for the day. So now it's like, and you know, we talk about call reluctance. I don't know if you all know about DTD2 yet. Jake, have you heard of DTD2?
No, I don't think so.
So you will hear about it in Ignite and you'll hear about it in other places. So DTD2 is a system that we have for calling your database or your sphere. And it's 2 letters of the alphabet every week. And if you use it the way that it's set up, you will talk to everyone in your database 4 times a year because every quarter, you know, there's 13 weeks in a quarter. There's 26 letters of the alphabet, divide by 2. I told you I like numbers. But what the point is that you get out that DTD2 list and you start with the letters and you don't evaluate anything. You just call. And so when you learn to get habituated to that, you will literally go through A's and you're not looking at, oh, this A is kind of a nasty person. I'm not calling. No, you just go through the A's. And when you're done with the A's, you go on to the W's because the first 2 are A and W for the first round of the year. And it's a great way to help you overcome call reluctance. So, because we don't want to be biased by what our thoughts are in here because you proved it, Jake. We think we know how people are going to react, and oftentimes we're quite mistaken. So great. I love that. Anything else? Well, it has been a pleasure. I will be on with you guys again in, I think it's 3 more weeks. So I will be eager to see how things are going for you. My name is Mary Dunn. It's mary.dunn@kw.com. I'm sorry, at KW, yeah. It's been a long day. I've been at Bold today. Yes. So if you have any questions, if you have any anything that we talked about that you want to know more about, feel free to email me and I'm happy to answer your questions. And then, like I said, I'll see you again in a few weeks. And good luck to you. And I just know that you're going to go out there and create an amazing business. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, so much.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Juan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.